Hi, in this video I'm going to explain the TB-3PO applet for hemispheres on Ornament and Crime. Now you won't find TB-3PO in the standard hemispheres release. It's a special applet that somebody has coded up and made available for free. You can install TB-3PO by following the same guide I showed in my hemispheres installation video, and the link to that is just up above. And what does this applet do? Well, it's a melody and pattern generator modeled after the classic TB-303, and it's ideal for making techno, combining it with these modules you see here in this small palette case setup. So let's get started. As always, let's start with a quick tour of the user interface. Because we're using hemispheres, we can have two copies of TB-3PO running. I have one on left, one on the right hemisphere. I'm using the Manis Iteratis alter as a drum synth, Manis Iteratis from Noise Engineering as the lead synth, so that's what we're going to be sequencing from the applet here. We're going to be using plats, mutable plats, but we're going to be using it in drum synth mode here to add some drum variation in the background, and that's going to be sequenced using Pamela's new workout, which is going to clock everything. Feed that into a delay reverb effect here on the FX Aid, and we're going to use this one U tile because I got this new palette case over Christmas break. We're going to use this one U tile as the final mixdown. Let's dive in and take a look at the user interface. As always, you navigate through the various parameters to change by pressing the left or right knob, depending on which side of the hemispheres you're running it on. I'm just going to change this to a different applet so we don't get confused when we look. The user interface is broken down between a seed value, and the seed value generates the pattern and the melody. Depending on the seed value, you'll get a different trigger pattern and a different melodic pattern, and the same seed value will generate the same pattern and melody each time. Unfortunately, you cannot save a library of these, so you get to save the state as usual once when you save your Ornament and Crime by long pressing the right button. It saves that value, and that's all that's saved. The next parameter we come to is the density parameter, and this ranges from -7 all the way through to +7. And it controls the relative frequency of notes and the melodic changes you get from the given pattern. Next we can select the scale, and this selects from the standard set of Ornament and Crime scales. So you have many different types, including user-defined scales. The next parameter is the key or the root note. So here I have it set to D sharp. And then we get to the number of steps. It can go anywhere from 1 of 1 up to 32. So you can have the classic 32 or 16-step sequencers. I'll just leave it here on 16 steps. A quick note on changing seed values. You can change to different random seed values by just continually turning the left knob to the left. To actually change it more precisely, you can go in when it's locked, press the button, and you will step through each of the digits, and they're hexadecimal digits, so they go from 0 through 9 and then A to F. And you can edit them by just turning the knob. So if there was a particular number you had in mind that worked, or you liked it, or you wanted to repeat it, you can go in and dial that in. As always, you send it in a clock here on input number 1, whether it's on the left or right side. It'll be the first of the digital inputs. Input number 2 is a reset input, which will reset the pattern generation, and CV1 and 2 allow you to control the density and the transposition. And you get 2 outputs. You get a pitch output and you get a gate trigger output. Okay, now let's make our first patch. Let's just wire in the audio so that we can actually take a listen. And we'll wire the output of Manis Iteratis into the left input here on ripples. And then we'll wire the left and right outputs of FX Aid into 3. There you get that nice squelchy filter sound there off ripples. Oh yeah, that's good. In terms of clocking, let's go right ahead and we'll fire a clock in here on digital 1 as always from PAMS. PAMS at 140 BPM, and that clock is set to a 4 times multiplier. And for number 2, we'll just dial PAMS back here to send in a one-off trigger, which is a reset signal, and that will go into input 2. Now let's wire in the output of TB-3PO. So the pitch comes on output number 1. So we're going to wire that in here. And the triggers come on output number 2. Now let's put our headphones on and we'll hit play and we'll take a listen to what changing the density value does to the melody and notes being created. So here we are at -7. So just the root note being played here, just D sharp. Now we add an extra note from the scale. More notes. At 0, we have much fewer triggers, more notes. Now we go up to +7, you can hear the change happening. Let's look at how we can just put this under CV control. I'm going to patch the output of Quadrat here to generate a voltage into input 2, and this allows us to adjust the density. Now, what happens when you plug in a patch cable into CV2 input is, you'll notice here on the screen it says CV, which means the density parameter is now under CV control. What that means is it will add or subtract the voltage from the parameter you have set here. I have this channel A on Quadrat set to be bipolar, so it'll generate positive and negative voltages. If I turn it to the right, we're generating positive voltages, so we go up to density +7. If I turn to the left, you can see we go to negative voltages, and I go to density -7. Input number 1, CV input number 1 here, allows you to transpose. So again, I can transpose up and down. So it's pretty low down as I turn up. Okay, so how are we going to do the kick? We have our BIA. So I've just set 5 and 6 to generate a kick, and also to generate a Euclidean rhythm on output number 6, which is a 1.5 times clock multiplier into the attack input here. And what that means is we'll get those hi-hats coming in on different beats to create a bit of variation. And I've also set this Euclidean pattern to rotate on the first step, so it changes every time. So we get nice variation in the drum sounds. I don't have to do too much. I can go in and tweak the parameters here, play around with the sound, but the rhythm will keep evolving on the drums. So let's take a listen. We've had a lot of fun making rhythms and playing around with the melody by just adjusting the parameters on TB-3PO. But there's one last feature I want to talk about, and that's how we can use accents. By default, the gate output here on output B is typically 3 volts. So whenever it wants to trigger a note, it generates a 3-volt gate, which I'm sending in here into the trigger input on Manis. But on certain steps, it will generate a 5-volt accent trigger. So it's greater than the standard 3-volt output. Now, if you just have it patched in like this, it will just trigger Manis regardless of the voltage, and we won't see any difference. So what we need to do is use the compare app, and we are going to use that on the right hemisphere and set a threshold of between 3 and 5 volts, like 4 volts or something, above which we can trigger something else to happen. Now, the first thing we might want to say to ourselves is, well, what exactly do we want to have happen? Probably the best thing to do in a small setup like this is to modulate one of the parameters on the Manis Iteratis that gives us a huge change in the sound. And one that I'm going to modify here is the deep CV input, which is added onto the profundity, I think it is. The profundity parameter. First of all, we'll take the trigger output here from output B on Ornament and Crime, and we're going to mult it using this mult here that's part of the case. And it's going to get a little bit cables all over the place here in a second, but bear with me. What we'll do is we're going to send that trigger, as usual, we will send it into Manis Iteratis. So we've achieved nothing yet, we've just multed out the trigger. But then what we're going to do is we will send it into input C here, which is the input into the comparator. Just because it's triggering, we're just going to get another gate. Now, what good's another gate to us? After all, we had one a second ago, and now we've just made another one. Well, let's use that in combination with the last module here in this small little palette case, which hasn't had a chance to shine yet, and that's this dual linear VCA 1U module. Now, I have a slowly moving sine wave LFO set up here on output number 4 of Pam's new workout. I'll patch that into the input of the VCA. I'm going to patch the gate output here from the comparator into the CV input, which will open the VCA whenever there is a high voltage, in other words, a gate is generated. And we'll patch the output of the VCA into the deep CV input here on Manis Iteratis. Now, every time one of the accents comes through, the comparator will go high because the output is above the threshold, which will send a high voltage here, which will open up the VCA fully and allow this slowly moving LFO, which is a sine wave LFO from Cam's new workout, to go through momentarily into the profundity input. So we hear a change, a momentary change in sound, just enough to keep things interesting. So you see here, every time that line goes over the threshold, we're getting a gate, which is opening the VCA. You'll see the lights pop on. But the value being generated is different each time because the LFO is changing. Well, I hope you found this short video today useful, explaining how the TB-3PO applet works. I think it's the most fun I've had so far jamming on the Ornament and Crime. You can just play away, modulating parameters, trying new seed values, getting different kind of generative melodies each time. And with something like the Manis Iteratis and the Manis Iteratis, you've just got an insane sort of little techno setup here in one of these small palette cases. By all means, leave me some comments down below. I love hearing from people with questions. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, let me know as well. Thanks for watching, and talk to you next time.